All right. It looks like we're live.
Think so.
Hey, everybody. Can you hear us? Can you hear me? And can you hear Uncorked with Brandy?
Surely they can. Let me get on my phone.
So Brandy's got a little bit of a cough. If she coughs, we're going to... Everybody duck.
I will try to mute and not throw stuff all over the screen.
Well, hopefully it's nothing serious. You said you're feeling better, right?
Yeah, I had a sinus infection and it turned to bronchitis. So
oh, wow.
I didn't have a voice at all last week.
Wow. You got to be careful with those sinus infections, to be honest with you.
Yes, and I have been fighting this one for a while. I had already gone in a while back, and they wouldn't even give me antibiotics. He was like, "Nah, you already passed that stage." I'm like, "Are you serious?" And I mean, it hurt here. Like I thought I had something going on with my teeth, like all of this right here.
Right.
And I was fixing to go to the dentist. I'm like, "Do I have something going on with my teeth up here?" And I finally went to the doctor. Then my throat went. I had no voice, and I went to the doctor. And he said, let's test you for the C word and the flu and strep. And I said, okay, please, because I feel like I'm dying here.
Right.
And he came back and he's like, oh, that's negative. He's like, but you have a sinus infection. My throat was raw. And so he just dosed me up. So I've just been sleeping, meds, and water.
Right. But did they finally give you the antibiotics?
Yes, he did. He gave me antibiotics and steroids.
Isn't it crazy that what you got to go through to get antibiotics? Like, when
you can get painkillers, like
when I feel like I got a Lyme flare up, all I want is the doxycycline, and it's so hard to get, And I know that antibiotics can, if you take too much of them, you can get sick.
Well, and you develop an immunity so that they don't work.
Yeah, but not as often. I was gonna once a year to take it is not,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, and they got to have a little bit of faith in people knowing their body and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, they don't give us any credit for anything. We know nothing.
People abuse it too at the same time. So it's one of those catch-22s. I mean, people abuse it so badly that those of us that don't abuse it can't get the help we need.
I'm just talking about antibiotics. I'm not even talking about pain meds. I'm just talking about antibiotics. It's crazy. Who would abuse antibiotics?
It's ridiculous. When I was going in, when I was dealing with my AS, before we found out I had AS and I couldn't walk, I spent 8 months not walking.
Wow.
And I was at this one back doctor that was local, and he's like sending me for this test and that test, and he's saying it's this, and he's like, no, it's not that. And I spent thousands of dollars on testing, and he just wanted to throw pain meds at me. And I'm like, I'm not taking them. For one, I don't take them because my body doesn't react right. Two, something's wrong. Fix it.
Yeah, don't just mask it. Don't.
Right. I switched doctors, and they immediately found out what I had. Immediately. And treated it. And it was like, how hard was that? I mean, come on.
Yeah, what's going on in this country is just horrible. I mean, it's just with everything. Our
healthcare sucks. Our healthcare sucks.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The whole country's gone to shit, in my opinion. But
I stay with I haven't tried the Bureau strips, but I stay with the Flonase nasal spray and Mucinex. That's a must in my home.
There you go.
Are you seriously going to start barking at me? Go get in your bed.
Yeah, because if you start barking over there, it's going to cause issues over
here. She was up here a while ago, and I'm like, you're too hot. You're driving me nuts. I put her on her bed with her big fluffy blanket, and she's back over here barking at me.
They want attention when we're online because they can get stuff.
Well, and she's special needs. Okay. So she doesn't see good. Come here.
Okay. See, Dan, the other dogs are special needs. I know you're a special needs dog. I just don't know what you need.
Oh, she's 14, and see,
oh
she's
my goodness,
all her hair.
Yeah,
she doesn't see good. She doesn't hear that good anymore. She was a hoarder situation, and she almost. And I was like, "Can I take her home and I'll bottle feed her?" The rescue would take it home, and they're like, "Yeah, because we don't know what's going to happen with her. Her eyes were blued."
Wow, how long have you had her now?
14 years.
Oh, so you got her when she was a puppy.
She was barely 6 weeks old when I brought her home.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You could leave her right there. She deserves to. She could go anywhere she wants at 14 years old.
Pretty much. And it's like I just keep potty pads down because she doesn't always go outside.
Yeah.
Sometimes and she gets lost when she's outside, so I have to watch her.
Right.
She will wander off, and I've got 2 acres, and it's in the country, and so I'm like, something's going to eat you.
Yeah, or somebody's going to pick her up and take her to go.
Yeah, I've got a big old hawk that he's been watching.
Yeah.
I'm like, leaving.
For sure, for sure.
We'll sit here and sweat. You get in the blanket and Mom will sweat. It's fine.
There you go. There you go. All right, guys. Well, welcome to our live stream. So we're not going to talk about Gypsy. Could the internet possibly go without that? Can we go without her? And I do want to say, and just pardon me, Brandy, I put up a video that gave the wrong information, I think, as far as that artist goes. So here's what I still don't know. I think that the artist has been doing that artwork for a while. And then I think that, listen, this is me guessing now after I put the video out and got hit up by a few people saying she's not real, but she did art. She did do the art. I mean, because I saw the video of all of the artwork. Now, whether Gypsy took the name and this woman said, fuck that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copyright the name and all that. I don't know. What I do know is that if I put something up and I was wrong, I apologize for that. But as you guys know, I'm not going to take stuff off of my channel. If I make a mistake, my channel is going to reflect the mistakes that I made. I'm not going to just take stuff off my channel, because once you do that, you never, in my opinion, you don't know.
Never hide it.
Yeah, I don't want to. I got warts. I really don't have warts, but my channel has got some warts and some growing pains and stuff like that, and it's just going to show it. Yeah, it's going to show. I'm not going to take stuff off. If I make a mistake, then I make a mistake.
Come back out and correct it, but I'm not going to hide it. I've only removed things. I never even remove it. I put it private or members only, and I explain why. And I don't want to promote somebody or something like that.
Right.
But I mean, I'll just come out and look, I fucked up.
Yeah, well, so that's what I did. Even though I'm not 100% sure, two things could be. I mean, it could be that she was an artist, and it could be that Gypsy saw that and said, I'm going to go ahead and take it. And this woman said, no, you're not, even though I'm a crook, you're not going to steal from me. I don't know.
I've been in the art pouring and the resin pouring side of things, because that's stuff I do too. Right. And you will see that kind of stuff done by everybody.
Right.
So it's not exclusive. It's not like she just created that out of the blue. It's not.
Right.
But other than that, I don't know anything else about it. Other than that, Trisha chick is nuts. Like I followed that a while on the tubes. So
yeah, I don't. The only Trisha I ever knew about was Trisha Paytas, just by name and stuff, I guess, from there. But again, I mean, two things could be right. She could be a crook, and Gypsy could have stolen her shit. I don't know. I don't know. But whatever it is. I put something up that was incorrect. All I can say is I'm very sorry about that. And that's that. So, so I am sorry about that. If I was wrong about that, that's the best I got. From there, we're gonna go to Devil's Den. So that's exactly how you do it. MCM, you at and then the person's name. Right?
If you're on a computer, it'll pull up when you start to write the name. It'll pull it up. If you're on your phone, you just kind of have to remember how to type it, and it should tag them.
See, there's people saying that Gypsy stole her shit, or she stole Gypsy's shit. I don't know.
So I saw a video earlier on that, and I'm like, okay, now this kind of makes sense, because it was a lady was like, look, this is where it irritates me. Gypsy has her, what is her TikTok at 9 million? Whatever the number is. Right. And it was for her story and blah, 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 blah. So then she changes her name to whatever.
The beauty art, blown beauty art.
And is trying to recreate herself and making it look like she is an artist with 9 million followers is how they took it, and it upset them. I get that. Yeah. And I understand that, 100% agree. That's not what she was before.
And that's not what they supported. That's yes.
And so I can see where people in that community are like, wait a minute, you didn't build your following off art,
right?
And they're upset. And I get it. I don't blame them for that.
No, I agree. 100%. I agree. So we're going to talk about, I guess there was a live stream with 1980 that I must have missed. I was sleeping.
They were doing the emails earlier.
Okay, cool. So we'll check them out later. And I know that Milk Honey and Mayhem's got a very cool video coming out. They were sharing some information with me. I'm excited about that. And anybody else on the channel in the chat here looking for love, you got love. I don't know what to tell you. Got it. You got it. But anyway, the big question, and I have a video, I haven't put it out yet because I was sleeping, but is what the fuck is going on? Like, how brazen do you have to be in this world anymore? What the hell is going on? That I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put up, pictures of this guy.
Well, and we had 2 cases in 1 week that were very brazen cases. This one and the one in Tennessee, and it's like, what the hell are these people thinking?
And they finally got the guy in Tennessee. He's
Yes.
been caught. He was the one that unalived the whole family, and the baby he took.
Left the baby and somebody else's.
Thankfully, he left. Thankfully,
and thankfully that woman happened to be home and find the baby.
And a good person. And
yes.
How do you know? You know what I mean? Like, I think that was random where he left that child. But I don't know much about him. I know that he was caught today. I believe it was today.
Early this morning, I believe it was.
Yeah.
I mean, they had seen him yesterday on camera footage at a church.
Right.
That one I've been kind of following. I've been trying to put together because that was pretty insane.
I don't know much about that one, but this guy was a school teacher, guys. You guys are saying, look at his eyes. He's got dead eyes. He looks deranged. He was a school teacher.
5th grade school teacher.
He was going into 3rd grade. So between 5th and 3rd grade, he's been teaching, it seems. No higher than 5th grade, but as low as 3rd grade.
But what I found weird is he's never stayed more than 1 year at any of the schools. That is weird.
He has resigned from every position. They said he hasn't been fired, which there's a few things he should have been fired about because stuff has come out. And that's another thing I just don't understand. Like, why? So supposedly there were complaints about him that he favored the female students and even would have them on his lap. That's totally inappropriate. Why was he still around that?
In the weird games of tag. They said,
just with the girls, right?
There was one class that the boy said no. He had his mom said her son had a different view of it. He loved him. He was a great teacher. He admired him. He started dressing in polos because the teacher wore polos. And so, but his behavior towards girls is very questionable, and it's all alleged. We don't have any, it's just what parents are in. So,
right. And as you guys know, I mean, come on, man. As you guys know, we're not going to have all the information right now. Right. But here's what I do think, Brandy, and tell me if you think. I do think that this wasn't, I think there's bodies behind this guy. I don't think that was his first attack. Koberger either. If Koberger did that, I don't think, how could these, you have to have confidence. I think, I mean, first of all, I would never, I can't even imagine doing that to somebody, but you have to have confidence. First of all, it's one-on-one with a knife. It's not like a distance where you could point and shoot.
And this man that he unalived was a big dude. He wasn't and this guy's not that big. So he fought.
Yeah, this is the husband and wife that died.
And I can't remember what his name is. Clinton, isn't it Clinton?
Clinton, and her name was Christine or something, or they're both sounded very much the same. For those of us, this guy was 28. I think the
28,
the perpetrator's 28.
These guys were in their 40s.
But she, just so you guys know this, she was a college volleyball player. Did you know that?
No, I did not read that. I had read about her nursing school and
but she had I think there was even some money from the she was a very good volleyball player, and I think there was a partial scholarship, and they used to, when they would go to campgrounds and stuff, they would bring volleyball nets. They both had a passion for volleyball, but she was a college volleyball player. And the reason why I say this is because they were very active. They weren't lazy older people. First of all, my age, they're not old at all, right?
Right. In your 50s, it's like,
Yeah, these people aren't old at all, but they were very active. They played volleyball. They weren't like couch people. As you can see, they went on a hike. They took their family on a hike. And it was like the moderate hike. It wasn't the easiest hike that they did. It was 1.5 miles, the hike that they did. And there was some, it was a bit moderate for them, probably because of the children, the two girls. But
what I'm thinking happened, and this is speculative, this is just trying to process, because it's a very popular hiking area. It's very busy.
Yes. 1980 has been there, believe it or not. 1980 told me she's been there.
Oh, wow.
The Devil's Den. Mm-hmm.
So what I wonder, he's only been there, I think they said he had been there, what, a week, 2 weeks, not very long. Could he have been scoping out? Maybe that was something he'd been scoping out for a chance to attack somebody. Could he have seen the kids first? And since we know he had an eye for war girls that age, allegedly by his behavior according to parents of schools.
Yeah, this is all allegedly, guys. If we say something and we don't hit the word allegedly in front of it, allegedly across the board here, as you guys know,
until this goes forward,
it's still very fluid. It's still, this is all speculation. Unless we say for a fact or we saw this here or that. Please,
it doesn't make sense to attack these two people because this is a big dude. This dude is a good sized man. So it does not make sense to attack a couple. I wonder if the kids hadn't fallen behind and he went for the kids, and that would make sense for mom getting kids out of the area while dad fought him and then her going back to help dad. That kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah. And I have seen that. The only difference in what you're saying and what I've seen online, he's online right now, this guy, believe it or not. It was that they thought maybe the girls walked ahead. So where you're saying maybe the girls fell a little bit behind, they're saying that the speculation with Nancy Grace. Okay. And with the people that were on her show and with the people that have spoken on this, the speculation right now is that more or less the girls probably were walking ahead because, that sometimes they don't want to be walking with parents and stuff like that. So maybe they were walking ahead and he spotted them and he went after them. And then the dad
not realize that parents were there.
Right. And then the dad went to protect, and the mom took the girls away and then came back to help her husband. Now that, I don't think that's speculation. Now, that part isn't speculation because the girls have said that.
Right. Law enforcement has said that's what happened.
He was attacked first. Let me give them something, otherwise I won't win with them. I do believe that he was attacked first.
Sorry about the coughing, guys.
What should I give you? What should I give you, Mizey? What do you want? What do you want? I don't know what to give you. Let's see. Keep talking, Brandy.
I was reading chat to see what they all got to say here. They're all talking about that area. Very nice. So for me, trying to figure out why this would happen the way it did, that just kind of, from what we're hearing about people alleging of his behavior with children, that it would make sense that he was after those girls, not realizing the parents were there, and that's how the attack happened.
Yeah, I think that that's the case too. But now, did you hear about the license tag being? Did you hear about the duct tape on the license tag?
No, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that.
So let me tell you. So this is not speculation. This is fact. You guys, I'm not going to eat this for you. So figure out which one you guys want, because you guys got to figure that out. So he had duct tape or something on his license tag that obscured some of the numbers.
Okay.
So they are saying that they think because of that, that he went in there to do something nefarious, and he already had his license tag obscured for that reason. Now, that's speculatory because the thing is that you don't know if a lot of people do that with not a lot of people, but people mess with their license tags, so that they don't have like the fees and fines and stuff like that, right? So I don't know if he just put that up that day and went in there to block, but let me ask you a question, because I was talking to somebody about this. He had one of those Kia Stingers. That's a unique car. The Kia Stinger I think it's the only real sports car that Kia puts out.
Yes.
It is a unique car. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to put something on the license plate. To me, that would bring attention.
I would think.
Right?
I mean, that's going to be something I would have noticed. So that to me is weird.
So that's how it was noticed. That's why that car stuck out, because of that. It wasn't because it was a Kia Stinger. I mean, that would have been, it's such a unique looking car. A lot of people thought it was a Mazda. So I could see people going up and saying, this is a unique looking car. It's pretty. Let me see who makes it.
You don't see many of those cars.
Right.
Because I literally went by the Kia dealership. I'm going, did they have any on the lot? And they didn't have any on the lot. So I'm like, okay.
Right. I don't know that they still make the cars. I mean, I don't know, but the car is unique. So and then to go ahead and put something on the license plate, that's another thing that I just feel like if you're trying to go incognito, why would you do that's not incognito at all. Because that's seriously that's why people noticed that car in the car park, in the parking lot that day, was because they saw some sort of obstruction, duct tape or something on the tags of that car.
I think a lot of people are talking about the school thing. I think what schools need to start doing is, because this guy left 3 different schools with a year apiece. So, and he wasn't fired. He left on his own after being questioned about things. So,
and let me interrupt you by saying you're being very conservative, because I don't know, but I've heard up to as many as 5 different schools in 3 years.
Maybe I read.
So, I mean, right. But right. Again, we're not sure, but too many.
Because the schools need to do like any other registry, right? If we have an SO offender registry, then why do we not have a school registry where when there's questions about a teacher's behavior, that's put in the system for other schools to look at and then question? Because if you're a teacher and there's an issue that happens with the kid and it goes in there and you go to another school and they say, okay, what happened? And you give your story, they can decide whether or not to believe you and hire you or not.
I agree.
Because this guy, we could have already had this guy off the streets.
Oh, I agree. You're 1,000,000% right. And, if I went to go get medication, they would know where I already picked up my medication, when I got my medication, all that. And you're absolutely right. There should be something for teachers that, you're right, because this guy had enough. And listen, I understand that there's going to be false accusations, because that's part of it. And that's horrible. You fail a kid and, all of a sudden that teacher is the worst teacher, and there's no merit in it. You're just smudging somebody's reputation. But like you said, first of all, why the hell does he have children on his lap? He shouldn't even be touching children.
That's weird.
Shouldn't be touching children. And why did they let that go on?
One lady said he would pet her daughter's hair,
tickle and shit.
That's grooming. That's
literally
classic grooming. And it just, these people that do this kind of thing, they snowball. They start with the little things of tag, tickling, the petting, all of those things, and then it ramps up.
Right. Right. And if there's already people talking about the favoritism between the guys and the girls, then there's already a red flag. I don't know if it's because we're so short-handed in this country that we just will take anybody. I just don't understand it. And I love Grizzly True Crime. I know she's, man, I give her so much. I love her. I think she's absolutely phenomenal. I'm just reading some of this stuff.
Our schools, and this is one of those things when I talk about school shooters that drives me crazy. And I understand there's a cost that comes into play that our schools can't deal with. Guess what? When it comes to our children, I give zero fucks. Make it happen.
Exactly. And
we have children in their lives for no reason. We have people like this idiot grooming children. We have teachers having sex with children that should stop. We need to do something.
Absolutely. So misbehaving, just so you know, he hadn't started teaching yet. He had gotten a job. I don't think that they would have been in the same school. I think they would have been in separate schools, but school hadn't started yet there. So nobody was there. He didn't start his job. The girls didn't start their new school. It would have been a new school for them too, because the dad, they came from a different state. You know that, right? Like they just moved there too. This family just moved there as well.
Like a month. I think they had not been there very long at all.
He didn't even start his job yet, from my understanding. He was starting on Monday his job with the milk truck.
The superintendent or the governor, whoever it was, had said that the teacher, the perpetrator, was due to start, but had not, and because of the incident, of course, would not be, of course, because he's in jail right now.
Right.
So no bond. He wasn't a part of the school system yet because he had not started.
Right.
And then, of course, this wonderful couple didn't even get to start their jobs because their life was good.
Yeah. And she was a nurse at one time. I don't know if she was still, I think she was a stay-at-home mom at this point. I'm not 100% sure. He does look evil, this guy. Like he definitely does.
He doesn't look okay. Like
look at his eyes and stuff. It, you know, I mean, you can't judge a book by his cover, but yeah, he's got like this.
Now there looks normal. That looks like a normal teacher badge to me. I would have seen him as a teacher and been all right. The other one, no. The other one would have made me uncomfortable. That there, you see the progression in a lot of these guys' pictures, like even with Chris Watts. Over time, you start seeing the progression of the change in their eyes and the look. Mm-hmm. This don't even look like the same man in those other pictures. But
this might be a newer picture because it looks like a mugshot, right?
This was the arrest. This was when they arrested him.
Well, no, when they arrested him, he still had the long hair. Remember?
Well, yeah, long hair on top because she had started cutting it.
Yeah, but it was only half a haircut, only half.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna look funny in prison with that.
Oh, I think they fixed it. I do. I think that this is after the fact. I think this is after, or maybe not, because he couldn't have had his hair grow like that. Hang on one second. What do you want, Milo? What do you want? What are you doing? There's nothing here. So stop barking at me. Go lay down. There's nothing. Go lay down, Bubba. Go lay down.
Yes, and I agree. He looks possessed. He looks like there's something wrong. There, like you can see, there's something not okay here.
What do you see down there, Milo? Like, what is it that you think you can get? This is nothing that I can get. That's nothing there, Bubble. There's nothing. This is nothing for you. Okay, there's nothing there. So stop it. Go lay down and be a good boy. He's ready to give me the middle finger. Nope, he's determined to get in there. There's nothing there, Milo. Nothing.
Oh, before we went live, I had one of the cats over here messing with me, and Raina was ruining at me. And
he thinks that he dropped something, but I know that there's not. Hold on, let me double check. Is this your... Hang on, because there's. Oh God, Milo, you're gonna fucking kill me yet. There's nothing here, Bubble. There's nothing. So no. Wait a minute. They did drop something. Hang on a minute. Can you keep the cat?
Yeah, we got it.
They did drop something. I got it. Where is it? I think you dropped it.
I'm coughing up lungs and she's chasing treats. It's all right, guys. We got it.
Yeah, they dropped something here, I guess. Okay, I'm not going to give you guys anything anymore.
Like, and I bought those animal cookies in the plastic container, and I have dog treats in a plastic container. So anytime I get some cookies out of the container, they think it's them. So I have to give the dogs cookies.
Yeah, I don't see where they dropped anything. They're gonna have to suck it up because I don't see it. Stop barking. You can keep going. I'm gonna go kill a dog. I'm not gonna kill him.
Sorry, guys. I apologize for that. Bronchitis sucks. I'm just saying. But this guy, I feel for the poor little girl cutting his hair because she even said, you know, something didn't feel right. It felt weird. His
yeah, she said that. Yes, she did. She said that, and that he kept his head down. He wouldn't look at her
in the eye,
and he's just said, "Leave this."
I mean, can you imagine being there cutting his hair and the cops come in? I mean, thank God he didn't have a weapon and go nuts on anybody.
He was only 30 miles away too, so he definitely thought he was getting away with this.
Yeah, like this, he should be on the like dumbest criminal videos because I'm sorry, if I did something like this, I'm not staying in the area to get a haircut. I'm going a couple states over to get a haircut, change my looks, color my hair, whatever. But to do it 30 miles away, like brazen. Kung Fu Panda, my dog is super cute and he knows this and he's kind of a jerk about it. I feel that.
Oh, he definitely. So what do you think? What do you think about the fact that I think that this wasn't his first. I mean, do you think that he went in there like so brazen like that the first time?
I think it was his first. I think he had amped up. I think he had kind of, I mean, maybe there was something in one of the other states of an attack that we haven't heard about yet. But I don't think, I think that this was his first unaliving. I don't think that he had unalived anybody before. Maybe an attack of some sort.
Right.
But just like with Brian Koberger, he was ramping his up from the weird stalking of the coworker and the different things, and then he just jumped right into let's take the lives of 4 innocent young people, but in a Ted Bundy move.
You know, I don't know, that Koberger case. Hey, Gen X, how you doing? Red Valentine, guys. I'm talking to Red Valentine. I'm not talking to you, guy. Milo's now up my ass.
Yes, Kung Fu Panda, that's who it was. When they showed his picture earlier where he still had the little bibby thingy on from getting his haircut, I kept thinking, what unaliver is he reminding me of? The one that shot the Joker guy at the premiere. Remember the one that did at the movie theater? That went in the movie theater, the Joker movie years ago. What was that?
Yeah. It was not Christmas Eve. That was Christmas Eve. Remember
this guy? His picture of him right after they arrested him looks just like that dude.
Huh. I'd have to look that up.
I was trying to remember who it was that he reminded me of, and they just said it. I'm like, that's who it was.
Wow. Milo, everybody's talking about my dogs in the chat now because of you. And I don't see what he sees at all. So you think? See, I don't. I think that I pray it was his first time too, but hang on a second. I'm sorry. Stop. There's nothing there. Look, there's nothing there for you, buddy. There's nothing there.
Might as well give you another.
There's nothing there. There
was Aurora, Colorado. Let me look it up.
It was Aurora, Colorado. I do remember that because I had family there. And I was like, I could have been at that theater. All right. Well, Milo got his toy. He finally got it. Asshole. I don't think that's really what he wanted, but I think that's all I could get.
In 2012.
You got a picture of him?
The shooter? Or the one that the Aurora?
The one in Colorado?
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
James Holmes is his name, Gen X said. Yeah, it was Aurora, Colorado.
Let's see, I don't like that picture.
No, I'm not out of treats. My dog just wanted something that fell between a crack that I couldn't see. I would never be out of treats for my dog. They'd get a steak or something. Come on, guys. They would eat before me any day. They just had dinner. They just had cookies. They went to the park. Come on.
Let's see.
I had some teachers I really didn't care for, but lately this is a whole new breed. It's worse than that because, like, the crimes in this country. Did you put this up here?
I sent it to you.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to put it up.
Well, let me get rid of that. Where'd it go? Here it is. There he is.
All right, so I'm going to put this up. Remove. Oh, I got to remove this one. So hang on. Let me put this one up. Yeah, I can't put them both up. It won't let me put them side by side. But yeah, with the same stupid stare.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely right. That was good, Kung Fu Panda. That's absolutely right. Well, he unalived a family, Napolitano, Dollface. He unalived a husband and wife because he seemed to have gone after the children, and they fought for the kids, got the kids out of danger. And then this Prince Charming decided to unalive the dad and the mom. And these were the two kids, the two girls. I covered their faces. Those were the two girls that were on the hike. There was a third daughter as well. She just wasn't there that day. And this is the couple that he unalived.
And everything about them, they had just such a beautiful life.
Yep. And you could see, I mean, you can't even find a picture of them separate, to be honest with you. They're always together, these two. They've been together for a long time. People have only said good things about them, just good things about them.
I'm going to try to make us a side-by-side of these two real quick.
Okay. So Trixie says she lives in Arkansas. And that, yeah, so as it is now, this is all speculation, Shorty Pie. Speculation that he saw the girls. He might have thought the girls were alone. Maybe the girls were walking a few feet ahead of the parents, and he went after the girls. The dad went, and the mom took the girls far enough away to get the girls away from him, and then went back to help her husband, and the husband and wife unalived by a knife. The guy had a knife. Kathleen, thank you for your membership of 4 months. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. I appreciate that immensely. So I have a question, though, that he does. He's 28 years old. He's 28, Andrew McCann. That's the guy, McGann, Andrew McCann, 28 years old. So that's who he was. And a school teacher that apparently has been to 3 to 5 different jobs in 3 years. You know? So somebody that kept coming and going. And unfortunately had some reports, but nothing enough to get him not to teach. There just wasn't enough to get him not to teach. You know what I'm saying?
I sent it
Okay.
to you.
Very
This
cool.
is
Yep.
for these two to kind of, I don't know why, but he just reminded me of this dude.
Yeah. Yep. The children did get away. The children survived. The children got away.
And
they were the ones
that their third daughter was not with them that day.
That's correct. That's correct. There was an older daughter. They weren't twins. One was 7, one was 9. The girls. Let's see. Nothing I've seen it from the beginning. Well, this happened. It happened a few days ago in Devil's Den, Arkansas, hiking path.
Wasn't it the 31st?
Was it that long ago?
Yeah, that's just a few days ago. So.
Oh, yeah, it's the 6th. Yeah, about a week ago. Yep. Yeah, they were on a hiking path. You're not gonna start with me again. They were on a hiking. They were on a hiking path, and the girls, the girls might have walked a few feet away from their parents. This guy, it doesn't appear like he knew that he probably thought the girls were on his own. And
it does look like he has a little bit of bruise up here on this one eye.
Oh yeah, no, he got hit. Like supposedly there was blood gushing out of his face.
There's supposed to be some other injuries that left blood at the scene for their DNA evidence. So that's why I was like, I want to, because that dad fought. That was a big dude. And if he's fighting with the dad, mom had to go back. He's got some injuries somewhere, but he does look like on this eye, that left eye is bruised. It looks like up here on his forehead too.
They said that he had blood on his face. Somebody saw him leave
with blood. Yeah.
With blood on his face. So like they had this guy, you know what I mean? Like they had him. It wasn't, they had him right away because the girls gave a description of him. And then, as you know, see, this is the importance of social media. And this is why when I get something wrong, I have to say something. So what's happening here is that, no, they're not barking because of that. He's barking. I can tell what he wants. He thinks he sees something under somewhere. He's spoiled, Shorty Pie. He is a spoiled little boy. That's who my dog is.
Nel Platano, I don't think they're doing any fundraisers that I've heard of yet. And they are with family.
Yes, they're with family.
I haven't raising any kind of money for them yet.
I haven't heard about that either. But there's a few things that, and I put that in this video, the crimes that are happening now in this country. You know what it reminds me of? When I was a counselor, and we hear about it now too, but especially when I was a counselor of the self-harm, you know what I'm saying? Like people that hurt themselves because they're saying that that's how they feel. They don't feel anything until, you know what I'm saying? And like, I can't relate to that, but I mean, I can understand it, right? I can understand that so these crimes, like the Kohberger crime and this crime is so in your face and so brutal. You don't know if you're going to make it out of there. I mean, the Kohberger thing, there was so much element of surprise in that house that there was no guarantee that he was going to walk out. This guy too, with this, to be on this hiking path, to have
broad daylight,
to have such a weapon close and personal, it's like they want to feel it. Like it's not enough to just take somebody out. Like they want to fucking feel this shit.
They're so narcissistic that they think they're above and perfect and will never get caught. And
do you really think that? Because if this was this guy's first crime,
I think that with Kohberger for sure.
You think that was his first crime too? You don't think there's any bodies behind him?
No. I think he was building up to, because he had always wanted women. He had always wanted a girlfriend. He'd always been put down. And I think that it was just building and building. And like Ted Bundy,
Yeah, but Ted Bundy didn't start with going into a house and unaliving 4 people. He progressed to that.
He was kidnapping them off the street, pretty much.
But one at a time. One at a time. And the element of surprise was his, not the other way around.
Here is my theory on Kohberger. This is when I was reading the documents and putting it all together, because Kaylee's injuries were so severe and she was not supposed to be there. So I think, and this is strictly Brandy's opinion on Brandy reading documents and going, how did this happen and why was this one this way? I think he went after Maddie. Wasn't expecting Kaylee to be there. She surprised him because she was there, so she got the brunt of the thing, because how dare her interrupt what he wanted to do. When he come out, he ran into Xana because she had the food delivery. She ran, he attacked, and then he had to do Ethan because, of course, Ethan was there. And at that point, that's why the other girls, he had already spent all of his energy, and that's why he didn't get the other girls. I don't think he realized they were there.
Well, he definitely saw somebody because he eyed somebody when he left.
I wonder if he even seen them, or was he in such a adrenaline drop or rush and just blanked out and didn't see anything?
I don't know. See, my thing is, before you go there,
figure out.
Here's a guy, but listen, like, see, okay. I know that now we're talking about Kohberger.
I know we just totally went off track. Sorry, guys.
No, that's okay. Because I would like to stay here if it's all right. So Shorty Pie, no, it was random. I know that's scary. He did not know these girls. It was a random attack in broad fucking daylight in a busy, it's a busy place. It's not an off the beaten path place. It's a busy place. And so that's a lot of gall. That's a lot of gall, and to go in there. Oh, Kara, thank you so much. It's very kind of you. I appreciate it more than you know. Trust me, more than you know. Thank you so much. But with Kohberger, I want to stay there for 1 second because I'd love to have this conversation, and guys in the chat as well. My thing with Kohberger is, listen, I know that he said he did it. I didn't think he did it. And I certainly didn't think he did it on his own. So if he did it, I thought there was somebody else there, because here's a guy who studies criminology. That house, the element of surprise isn't on the girls or the guy in the house. The element of surprise is the single perpetrator with a knife who doesn't know if they're partying, if they're not partying, if they're getting DoorDash, if they're not getting DoorDash, if there's more people coming, if there's not more people coming, to pinpoint that house and to know that as many people could be at that house or not. It was a party house, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. What I'm saying again is the element of surprise for one guy and his first crime to be on that house. And it showed later, maybe I'm wrong, but it showed later that a lot of the stuff that they had for this case was circumstantial.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and it showed later that he had no connection with anybody in that house.
I think they jumped on that plea deal that he asked for because the risk of all it takes was one juror to say, there's not enough for me. And he'd have walked.
But so then they took the death penalty out, and what they sold him on something. First of all, I don't know how his life would have been if he'd have gone to trial and if he would have gotten off by one person, by some technicality or just a hung jury or whatever, what his life would have been like for him. Like everything would have, I don't know that he would have had any kind of life after, even just being accused, because people had him guilty.
Right.
You know what I mean? People had him guilty.
Well, and that's the other downfall.
I think there's something more to this. I would love to find out later, like, what was more to this, because I am not convinced that one guy who's never unalived anybody, who studied criminal justice, went into a house where anything can happen on his own with a knife. With a gun, I could buy it. But with a knife, he had to have a surety, a confidence or something. How is it's random? It was random too, because there was nothing with these people. Like, there was all this speculation that he was following one of the girls. It came out now. Bullshit. There was no connection with these people and him.
Right.
No connection.
Yeah, this one with the Devil's Den floors me because with Coburger, it's late at night. It's party house. You've watched everybody going to bed. We can kind of.
No, I was talking about the Coburger case. I wasn't talking about Devil's Den.
But with this guy, with Devil's Den, he didn't know these children. He wasn't teaching them at this point. He hadn't met the parents anywhere. It's the middle of the day, public place. This one makes no sense whatsoever. Like, with Coburger, for me, it was the middle of the night. It was a party house, yes, but you can see through that house and see everything going on. See, there's nobody else there. Everybody's going to bed. It's safe to go in. It's kind of how I see it. I don't know.
You still one person with a knife and 4 other people. You honestly don't know how many people are in that house. You might see lights go off and stuff.
I think his ego made him believe he could do it all. I do. When you watch his interviews with the police, when you read the interviews and what he's saying and how he words things, and you hear about his childhood and how he was behaving growing up to then, oh yeah, he was very much full of himself. And I think that if there was anybody else involved to get that plea deal, he would have sang. I think he would have sold him up the river. He's not one of those hero complexes that was going to cover for anybody.
I'm not too sure that he said, I'm not too sure that, I don't know. I'm not going to jump on board with Coburger. I think, listen, he took the deal. He says he's guilty. I honestly, it pissed off some of the families that there was a plea deal because they wanted to know. And then when they come out and find out that the case was built on circumstantial evidence, how do you think that makes them feel? Honestly, did they get the right guy? Didn't they get the right guy? To me, it's always going to be a little bit of doubt there.
I know the families have said, had they seen the reports of what their children went through before that, they never would have been okay with the plea deal. They would have wanted him to go to trial because they were not told what those kids went through and how bad the damage was until after the deal.
I know that the gun, I can't pronounce the last name. Gonçalves. Yeah, that family, that he was livid. The dad was livid. And
yeah, dad's not okay.
No.
Especially after they got the report because he went through the most. She went through the most.
So I don't understand, I don't understand these plea deals. I don't understand the plea deal that, Stefan Stern's plea deal with Maddie Soto. You know who I'm talking about? Like,
putting that one together, and that one makes me angry.
Because, we don't know what happened to Maddie. We don't know. And he pled no contest to that. And of course he pled guilty to the others. There were pictures and stuff, but I'm not sure he killed her. I'm not sure it wasn't the mother.
I agree.
And because
maybe they had worked a plea deal with her we hadn't heard about yet. Mm-hmm. And that's why she hadn't been charged, because I feel like she should have been charged with something.
Absolutely.
Because she absolutely left her child with a predator for years.
Exactly. Neglect child endangerment, something.
Yes. Something. And when they weren't doing that, I was like, okay, maybe she's going state's evidence, and that's why. And I could understand that because whatever. But then now that he's pleaded guilty, there would be no sense for her to be state's evidence. So why are they not charging her? So I don't. And then
he pleaded no contest. He pleaded no contest to that.
No contest. But then she didn't even do a victim impact statement.
She didn't show up at all.
At all. I hear that she was in a hospital. Evidently, she is in a psych ward. Well, okay, then she could have written something up and had it still done. Something.
Is she still in there? She's been in there for a while. If she's still in there,
that's what somebody said the other day that she was. I have it confirmed.
I know that she was, but I don't know if she was still in there. If she was still in there,
I think they knew that she was fixing to go live with dad.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Dad said that they had talked, and that when she was 13, she could say where she wanted to live. And with her turning 13.
Okay, so now I did a video on that. Hang on 1 second, because I got to kill a dog. What's up, buddy? Go lay down. I'm done. Danny, he's not here fighting your battle. Go lay down, or I'm going to put you in the room. Now. Go lay down, buddy. Now. Yeah, we're eyeing each other down here. So I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. See what you did to me,
Maddie in the hospital. No, Maddie, Jen in the hospital.
So I think that all right, so supposedly this is all new information, so I don't know if it's true or not. And somebody, Jay from Guilty of Crime, who I've done work with before, especially on the Corey Michelo thing, she spoke about the Wallace family and the Wallace family showing up for the trial and showing up for this, but they didn't show up when she was alive. And I remember the dad saying he was just waiting his turn. And what do you mean wait your turn? How do you wait your turn? You show up for your kid. Now, what she's saying is that, or what they're saying is that Maddie was going to go live with her dad. This is information that just came out. And suppose if it's true, and supposedly the theory that I think was being spun was that because she was going to live with her dad, and because Jen was going to lose a little bit of money for child support, they unalived her. I don't believe that. I don't believe that theory at all. I don't think it's true at all. I'm not too sure she was going to go live with her dad. How did she even know her dad at this point? Like phone calls? Because she hadn't seen her dad. He didn't come and see her once a year. Like, where was he? And now he's come several times since she's been missing and dead. Now, I'm sorry. I don't think you deserve that. I don't think that your daughter deserved that. I don't think you caused this. But try not to change. Like, you can't rewrite history. You weren't there for her. You don't wait your turn. My dad was incarcerated. He was still fucking writing to me. He was still very much a dad. I definitely felt like I could still get in trouble by my dad. You know what I'm saying?
My dad was notorious, and Lord rest his soul. He was an amazing man. I loved my father. I was a daddy's girl till the day he died. He was 76 years old, and I was crawled up in his bed with him. Yeah, right. His bed, because he was in ICU. I was very close with my dad. However, there were times that, because him and my mom had divorced in his new marriage, and he did this with my sisters. He was notorious for staying back and not rocking the boat with the wife, with his kids. And but then he would show up when he needed to be, right? And like there was one time that we were visiting, and my husband was ready to rip into him because he wouldn't call me on my birthday. I wouldn't hear from him at Christmas, and I would just be heartbroken.
Right.
Go to visit, and Daddy would act like I'd been there all the time. And we're like two peas in a pod doing our thing like we'd always done. And David would be like, I don't get it. And he told him, he said, cease. He's like, your daughter worships the ground you walk on. You've got to be there for her, even as an adult. And right. So I get these dads that do this because mine did it.
Yeah.
That's why I, for the longest time until recently, resonated with Rod, because my dad did the same shit. It made no sense to me.
Yeah. My dad was incarcerated, and he was still writing to me and stuff. He always, participated in being
so involved with our kids' lives, even as adults, that I don't understand. I don't see it. I don't understand it in that aspect, but I understand it from, I know what I went through with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can see that it does happen, even though it doesn't make sense. If that even makes sense to anybody, but
here, I don't know what this guy, Jay speaks a lot on Maddie now for sure. Danny did not eat Milo's treat. Boy, my dogs are taking the heat here. No, seriously, I feel like I'm not saying that this was Mr. Wallace's fault, but what I'm saying is
He failed his child.
You did. You didn't show up for your kid. You didn't show up for your kid. And now look, unfortunately, look at he's got to live with that.
Right.
You know. And I would agree with what Red is saying here too. Is he really showing up for Maddie, or is he showing up for sympathy?
And that's I agree with that too. It's hard to say.
Because you don't know the guy. You don't know the guy. You don't know the guy. So we got Jay here, and she's saying that Jen purposely kept Tyler away from Maddie. But Jen was 13. Maddie was 13 years old. And she could make phone calls. And he can't keep somebody away, especially if he's paying child support. Like, so you can't have it both ways. Like, he was paying child support, he was going to visit his kid.
My dad paid a shit ton of money too. Well, I lived with Daddy for a long time, but when I left, but to keep the peace, Daddy just wouldn't rock the boat. He was one of those. My mom always called him a fence post setter. Like, they're not going to do anything to rock the boat. They're going to sit there and just do what everybody tells them to do. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's what this guy's like. It's not right for Maddie. He failed Maddie.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, in the end, she is the ultimate victim. And
yeah,
I mean, parent people, anybody watching out there, you got kids and baby mamas and daddies, be a parent no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. You can't put on things on hold. I mean, like, listen, again, if he had the situation to do over again, you bet your ass he'd do it differently, right? There's no doubt that the guy would do it differently. Unfortunately, you don't get to do that.
You know, these kinds of cases, you don't get a do-over.
You don't get to do that. So, yeah. Back to, I don't know why she's not incarcerated. I don't know why. And she should be incarcerated. For the very least, child endangerment, child neglect, definitely. No, I'm not blaming him. Nobody deserves to have their kid dead. You know what I'm saying?
No. And in the end, he is going to have to live with the fact that he failed.
Right.
That's the guilt that we can't even imagine that he's got to deal with from here on out.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, and that's a hard thing, man. That's a hard thing. I'm not sure that ever goes.
Life. She hasn't moved.
What's that? Yeah, no, my boy still got his hand somewhere. He's trying to get something.
Just thought to me she was still there. You know, my kids are adults now. My youngest just turned 29. Oh, Jesus. And I could not imagine not being there every day of their life growing up. And even now, like, we have a family chat, we have a family snap, and we're always doing silly shit, which we're a very sarcastic family. My son-in-law is like, y'all take some getting used to, because it's like you're trying to figure out if we're liking each other or not, because we're just very sarcastic with each other. And I can't imagine not having my kids' backs. They know even now as adults, they can fuck up, but they know mama's going to be there.
Right.
And I'm fighting for them. I may be chewing their ass behind the scene, but I'm fighting for them right there. So I just can't. But I was a kid that was failed too, so I overdid it with mine.
Yeah, you learn what to do from people and what not to do from people, and that choice is definitely yours. Definitely, yours. So back to what's going on in here. They look like, a couple that honestly you could see the years through them. You know what I mean? And they're not here anymore because they fought for their kid. They fought for their daughter. Huh?
Which is what those others we were just talking about haven't done.
Yeah, they fought for their daughters. I mean, you got to remember that she went back to help him.
Yeah.
She was free and clear, and she went back to help him. And
she could have gotten her girls and her to safety. Yeah. And she got her girls to safety, but she sacrificed herself for her husband.
Yeah.
And that's amazing to me. That is amazing.
Yeah. You know what I'd like to know, and I don't know if anybody knows this in the chat, but I'd like to know when they saw his car at the haircutting place, but I want to know if he still had the duct tape on the tag. Like, I'd like to know when that duct tape was put on the tag, because was it put on the day that he went to the park to do what he did, or was it something that he had on and forgot about? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why I'm stuck with that, because that was one of the things that was his giveaway, right?
Well, I hadn't even heard about that, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, that was definite. I've heard that many. Did anybody hear about that in the comments?
I know that I had heard, one of the things I was reading is that they, through different cameras in the area, were able to finally track the car and exactly what the car was in the plate and figure out where he was at in town, and that's how they found him at the beauty salon. So at some point they were able to track it, and the tape was gone. So,
oh, okay, so maybe the tape wasn't there at that time.
Well, I'm assuming it. I'm assuming, because they didn't say anything about it. So
yeah, but you didn't hear anything about it at the beginning, though.
No, I had,
and that was a big thing. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't hear about it,
unless I just totally skimmed over that part, which is possible as I'm reading other stuff with it. Right, misbehaving, which if he did it beforehand, it proves premeditation. And they said they're seeking the death penalty.
Oh, yeah, and they're not taking off the table.
Mm-mm.
So there's no plea deal here.
Well, they have him dead to right. I mean, they said even when they arrested him, there were things he said that pretty much admitted to the crime.
Oh, no, and he had DNA on him. Exactly, there's DNA on him.
They had the DNA at the hair salon from the hair, but she said that she, kept pushing it over.
Right.
Saved it for him, which they don't clean up until they're through with the haircut anyways. But they have the hair. They'll get his DNA in jail. There was blood at the scene. There's video. Hopefully those girls don't have to get on the stand. Oh, dear God.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know that they saw anything. I think they probably heard things. I mean, they saw the beginning of it, obviously.
Well, they were able to identify him. They said the girls gave, an ID, a description.
They saw the beginning of it. They had to have seen the beginning of it. And all because they wanted to go to a fucking, park and hike.
Yeah, just take
the audacity.
Day, right? You can't even, with where we're at today, you can't even go do a fun family thing without having to worry about being attacked.
Well, I mean, it's not even that, because the thing is that, Walmarts are getting shot up now. Malls are getting shot up now.
Right. You can't do anything anymore with your family that used to be family fun day. Even churches. One of the places that's supposed to be safety.
Right.
You can't without fear. I mean,
thanks, Jay.
Everywhere we go. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I was just saying thanks, Jay. Thanks for popping in, Jay. Appreciate it, guys. Guilty of crime. Guilty of crime, guys. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brandy. I'm sorry.
When we go anywhere, and we're in Texas, it's an open carry state. So we have the right to bear our arms no matter what. Or conceal carry if you want to have a license. And now my husband can't in his company truck or in the plants because he works in the refineries, and that's a big no. That's federal. You go bye-bye.
Congratulations. I heard you got a new truck that your husband got you. Congratulations. When you said that in a video, I was like, good for you. But now I'm going to tell you, good for you.
He did. I love my truck. It is. I have washed that sucker every time I turn around. I'm going back to the car wash. I don't want it dirty. I love my truck. Absolutely love my truck. And it drives itself, which freaks me out.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that.
You push a little button and I can't do it. It scares the hell out of me.
Don't do it, because don't count on that. It's not going to be as good as you. Don't do it.
And then I laugh because the car in front of me at the light pulled ahead of me, and I knew they were leaving. I was just waiting to make sure everybody's going through. And all of a sudden it beeps at me and says, lead car has advanced. And I'm like, quit telling me what to do, damn it.
You can shut that off if you wanted to.
I think I can. Yeah, I just thought
Yeah,
it was.
no, you can, if you wanted to. So that's cool.
It is a Hyundai Santa Cruz. It's a wannabe truck. It's a truck, but it's kind of a.
Oh, I love the Santa Cruz. I love the Santa Cruz.
It is cool. It is a very cool vehicle, and it's flashy. I now have to be extra, so. But,
I have the Hyundai, so I know about the thing on the panel that you could look at as opposed to looking down. And I know when it makes the noise about when you're changing lanes or somebody in front of you or that. Yeah.
Oh, it beeps like crazy and everything rattles. I mean, it lets you know. It has got so many safety features.
And you can also, just so you know, there's like 3 different settings. So if the setting is too aggressive for you, you can make it lower.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got to spend some time with the book.
It's huge.
I know.
I'm gonna do that. I have the little QR code, and I need to finish pulling up the videos on YouTube because it just explains it so much better.
Yeah. I love it. What color is it?
It is a blue.
I love it. I love it.
Look,
I know somebody just got one. So yeah, I think they're cute. Those little Santa Fe's are very cute.
Look, I'll show you.
So. Oh yeah, look at it. It's very pretty. Very pretty. So we got somebody, Nikita Alfie, and thank you I got a super chat from you or a super thanks or something from you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So she lives in Denmark.
Oh.
They don't have problems like that.
No.
In Denmark, their children could go outside and play without an adult and not have to worry.
It is a lot different overseas. We spent a couple of years in Germany and they just live totally different, and it's just safer. It's weird.
I don't know what's going on. I have a Kona. They went from a Kona to a Santa Fe. I might do that, but I'm not doing anything yet. Because I'm happy with my Kona. And I need all-wheel drive. I think that yours is all-wheel drive too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No guns in Denmark? I think that there's guns everywhere. I think that there's...
Here's my stance on the whole make guns illegal thing. Drugs are illegal too. It ain't gonna stop the criminals from having them.
It's too late.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. It's too late. But if I could go back in time, if I could fucking go back in time, yeah, I'd pull every fucking gun off the street.
Would you?
I absolutely would. Every fucking gun off the street. It's too late now, but yeah, I would. And I don't know what's going to be with this country. This country is going to go through things. It's going to happen, when I'm no longer on this planet. And then this country is going to have to come back in some other people's lifetimes. I don't know when that's going to be, but
until we start holding people accountable and until we get our mental health and our medical on a better path,
that's right.
It's continue. And like I was saying earlier,
it's getting worse though. This is the point that I'm making. So, to kill somebody with a gun, you might not even be up close and personal.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about the movie theater, I remember that. I remember those people being just fucking helpless in that movie theater. And first of all, for a long time while it was going on, they thought it was part of the movie. They thought it was
right.
They thought it was part of that. And so by the time they realized, oh shit, it's not part of that, people were paralyzed by fear. And the fact that somebody from way down there could shoot up somebody way up there. But now with these crimes, with the knives, there's something more to it. It's not enough to just unalive people. You have to get up fucking close and personal now, and you got to feel it yourself. You got to be like, I'm gonna get caught. It's like the self-harm. They have to feel it. And that's very concerning because it's not enough just to kill people now.
Right.
Now you got to see the pain in their face. You got to get right up there. You got to smell the blood or something. I don't know what fucking animals we are, but
you
this
know,
is horrible.
When we were in school and you had a disagreement with somebody, you just fucking fought. You took your fist and you beat the shit out of each other. You know, now they're bringing knives and guns and gangs of people to do damage. They're not. We've lost all rational thinking.
Yeah, we've gone terrible with that. Exactly. That's just what it is. It's almost like a rush. That's what I'm saying. It's terrible.
My husband, being a veteran, he is anal about when we're in public. He is watching where we're at. He's watching what's going on. He's looking for escapes. He's got himself between me and anything else. Even in restaurants, he sits where he can watch the door.
Right.
And get away. I mean, it's a whole thing. And a lot of that is his PTSD. And I know that. But it's just one of them. The kids have learned when we all go to eat, they all sit there and stand and go, Dad, where are you sitting? Because they know he's got a certain spot he wants to be in because he's got to protect the family.
Right.
But it's sad that we have to be that way.
That's the thing. You know, that's the thing that, you know, when you're going out to dinner, you got to wonder, are you coming home? You know, are you fucking coming home? Like, and that's the part that I just, we're so broken. I mean, we're so broken in how things escalate. There was a lot more grace. Now, I honestly think it's, and I'm on social media. We're both on social media. We're both content creators, right? Mm-hmm. But I blame a lot of it on social media, and because we're not making real connections with people. We're not building bonds with people so that when we hurt them, we feel it.
Right.
They're just like somebody on a fucking screen. Like there's nothing to that. And I don't mean to insult younger people, but I really feel like a lot of the younger people don't get it. A lot of the younger people aren't really making a connection when they're talking with people online. Like half the time they're probably wondering, is this person even who they say they are? You know what I'm saying? And but for them to, there is no compassion. There's no sympathy. There's nothing that makes us, you know, feel for one another anymore.
Right.
There's no conscience, or I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You guys tell me. But the thing is, Toddy, we would be, wait a minute. Oh, are we talking about, okay. I'd love to do a conversation about the legality of guns, and I'd love to do it with you, Brandy, because you're on the other side of that. I don't think we should have them. It's clear that you feel the right to bear arms. And I'm
a Texan girl, and we're Texans.
I would love to have that conversation. I'm not prepared to have it today, but I would love to have that conversation. And I understand.
But I'm also not opposed to stronger regulations on them. I'm not, and my husband is. And so him and I have that disagreement because his military side of him is, no, we all have the right. And I'm like, yeah, but at this point, kids are losing their lives for your right.
Right.
And that's too much for me.
Yeah.
And I think that we have to protect our kids. We have like this stupid fucking teacher that has been grooming children to hurt them in a different way. We have these other predators breaking into schools with weapons and taking their lives. And so we have,
and it's gotten, and that's another, so when did that, like, I remember Jamie put out a video. I remember hearing about Jamie Roos was the guy that shot up the school where she's from in Tennessee. That was before Columbine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We always talk about Columbine being the first, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. I don't even know that Jamie's thing was the first one. I don't know, but it's gotten to now. It's just a matter of when. It's not even now. Right. Now we take these kids know. Like, what happened? What
When
happened with the kids being able to go and play? And what happened? Like,
when the Uvalde shooting happened,
yep.
I was paralyzed, and I was covering that as it was unfolding. And my grandson was the same age, and I literally went to his house that afternoon, and I was very shaky. And I said, Bubba, we've got to talk. And I said, because he loves to cry.
See, she calls her grandson Bubba. That's what I call you.
He loves to talk true crime with me. Always has. He's, he started out doing podcasts with me. He loves it. What are we talking about today, Gammy? And he said, and I said, when do you guys talk about if there's a shooter in the school? And he's like, yes, ma'am. And this is what they tell us. And I have grilled him. You do what? What do you do? Where do you do? Where do you go here? And to do that at third grade baffles me. In third grade, we were like learning to get under the desk for a tornado. We didn't have this conversation. And that I'm looking at substitute teaching. I'm going to start that next week. And it's
really good.
I'm excited because I do like kids. I like to teach, and
be careful, because some of these kids, Brandy, they ain't kids.
No, they're not. And luckily, this is a small town, and all I got to do is pop on Facebook and say, "Are you the parent of? I need to talk to you." And that's because that's how we do it here. Right. But it also, I told Dave, I said, what scares me is it used to be one of the safest places to work as a school, and it's not anymore. It's one of the most dangerous.
Absolutely, you're 1,000% correct.
That makes me nervous. I'm kind of nervous about this, except that it's a small town, and you don't usually hear about it happening in small towns, but it can.
Oh, absolutely. And listen, the Newtown, Connecticut, that's not a big town.
Right. Uvalde's not very big. Uvalde's not a very big
It's not a big town. And those kids weren't even in third grade. Those were babies.
First and second graders, I think.
I thought they were kindergarten children.
May have been. There have been so many, which to me, look, and this is where I make people angry with this. And I'm not saying this to make to be disrespectful, but if you're a high schooler or an adult and you got to beef with another high schooler or an adult, take it up with that age, not little babies, because those babies didn't screw with you. Leave them alone.
Right. Yeah. I don't know what was up with that kid's mind. We'll never, he's gone. And he had issues. He's like that other kid that's parents are now in jail as well.
Yeah.
Ethan Crumbly. And they deserve it.
I covered that one like crazy. And I had a lot of people that are gun supporters that didn't agree. I'm like, nope, those parents, as a gun owner, as somebody who has weapons, had weapons with my children, it is my responsibility to make sure that kid doesn't have that gun. Period.
Especially when he's saying, I hear voices, they're laughing at him.
It's also my job as a parent, when my kid is suffering mentally, to do what I can to get them help. And
not laugh at them
that day. Instead of, I would have immediately taken my kid home with me. He would have come to work with me, and we would have gone and had a day to see what was going on with him. I would have not left my kid at that school. They absolutely deserve to be in jail. I have no sympathies.
Yeah, I don't have any sympathy for them either. I don't have any sympathy for them at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, school shootings are another passion of mine. I tend to cover a lot of those.
Well, unfortunately, there's no shortage of those.
There's not. And I did Parkland. I covered Parkland a lot, and that was when I thought was a sure in. I thought surely they're going to give him the death penalty. He pleaded guilty. They just had to do whether or not he was going to get the death penalty or life in prison, and they came back life in prison, and I was shocked. I was floored. I
don't know why we're doing these deals, because, for a country that in one hand is complaining that we're broke, what are we doing? Why are we supporting lifelong prisoners that will never get out? Why?
I struggle on the death penalty. I used to be 100% death penalty done, over with. Now I struggle because, and it was Kirk Nurmi. I had a conversation with Kirk Nurmi one time, and we were discussing the death penalty. And this was when I learned that I liked Kirk Nurmi. I didn't like him at first because he was Jodi Arias' attorney, and I hated her and just felt like he was
right.
But he said, we all deserve a defense, and we all deserve to have the best defense. And I did my job. I saved her life. She still has to spend her life in prison, but I saved her life. And he went to explaining the death penalty and went into details. And then I have another friend that in college, her thesis was on the death penalty. And she's got like a 200-page thing that she did on the death penalty, and she broke it down. And I'm like, maybe it isn't okay. So I struggled. There are certain cases I think deserve the death penalty, 100%. I think mass shooters, I think people that hurt children, 100% death penalty. But I don't believe it's for everybody.
Well, see, here's where, again, it would be a great conversation for us to have, and we could do it the same day that we do the gun rights, because I think that we have to do something in this country to wake people up. And I don't have a problem with the death penalty. The only problem that I have is just to make sure that the person responsible is the one. Okay,
and
so but wait a minute. So there are
an innocent person put to death that makes it too many,
Right. And I agree with that. But like Ted Bundy, why the fuck we put him through college law? You know that, right? Like we helped him get a law degree only to murder him later. Like what? Let him sit in a fucking jail cell all day. Why does he have to go to school?
Right.
This is the guy that his teeth marks were on the women. It wasn't a question of mistaken identity. This was the guy that escaped from prison.
I think once they're on death row, they don't need college. They give them give them 1 meal a day. I don't even want you to feed them 3 meals a day. Honestly, if they're on the death penalty, like let them sit there. Like let's put them to death, but let's not further their education.
Exactly. What are we giving them? Like, I mean, if you think of even people that aren't on people that are just doing time in prison now, they got the tablets, they can and they jailbreak those tablets, so they're getting stuff. Right. They're able to see stuff online. They're able, and you got people that are struggling to make it in this world that don't have a place to lay tonight.
Right.
That don't have a place. Right. But yet these criminals
and that can't get college education to better their lives. Or
exactly.
Or even
or they can't even eat 3 meals a day.
Right. And I'm funny about that because there are way too many veterans that go homeless.
Exactly.
And we've got people sitting in prison that get everything, and that is soapbox. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, that's 1,000%. It's totally it's unbelievable.
These people that are in prison doing, let's call it short time, because they are going to get out at some point. I do think giving them an education so that they can learn to better themselves is a good thing, because if they're in there, it should be bettering themselves to get out and be better members of society. So that I'm okay with.
So we're talking about two different things here, Mommy Brown. We're talking about people on death row, and we're talking about people that might be there,
life without parole.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with them sitting there either. I don't want to give them anything to do either. Why should they?
The ones that are never getting out. The ones that are getting out, I do think.
And the whole system still needs to be changed for them, because there is no rehabilitation. So there definitely needs to, listen, the whole country, in my opinion, needs to start all over again. We're systemically fucked.
Yep.
And we need to do something that, because this isn't working. We clearly see which direction the country is going in, and there's not a lot of hope for it, in my opinion. I'm sorry. I mean, if you're on death row, you're a caged animal. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. Let them sit there. What do they deserve? I would rather take that money and give it to a vet that actually fought for this country and is struggling to make it in this country than to give it to somebody who had no regard for somebody's life.
In 95, when we got out of the military, and this was in 95, this ain't even now. We got out of the military, we stationed out.
Well, 30 years ago, you're showing your age, Brandy. 30 years ago.
I'm 52 and proud.
God bless you.
We had no job, right? So it was like, what are we going to fucking do?
Right.
And literally my husband got a job and as a mechanic, because that's what he was in the military, making $7 an hour with 2 children.
Wow.
And I remember our checks at $200 a week, and it was like, holy shit, you know. And then it was like $400 a week. So then when I was pregnant with my son, and I just found out I was pregnant, and he got laid off. That was scary. Holy shit, was that scary?
Of course.
And when the job he got was making double what we had been making ever. And he was like, it was doing something. And they were like, do you know how to wire lights? And he was like, well, yeah, that's like basic. And so they hired him, and that's how he's developed his career with this business now. He started as a mechanic, and he's now a project manager.
Awesome.
And it was literally, we get out of the military, they don't prepare you. Like, these people get out, they have nothing. They have the skills in the military. And if you had college, great. But he was a mechanic, and he had college, mechanics from college. He went to diesel mechanic school. So he had that degree, but there's no money in it. And it's
diesel mechanic?
Yeah.
There's no money in that? Are you kidding? There's a truck driver mechanics.
When you if you go and you get your certifications and you get your equipment, you're working commission, and it's hard.
Okay. Well, you know better than me, because diesel mechanics, I heard they make good money because they're truck driving. I mean, that's the diesel's more now. And,
right.
And usually
he was light wheeled, so it was the smaller diesel vehicles, not the big guys. Like my husband can tell you how to break down a Humvee and put that sucker back together. Like there's no tomorrow. He told me how to do it in his sleep many times. But it was hard, so hard. And so when veterans get out, that's one of my passions is veterans. And I've placed service dogs with several veterans over the years. My girl doesn't have puppies anymore, so we don't get to do that. But that's an issue, is that there's nothing to transition these men and women from the military to civilian life where they can make a career and make a life.
I never thought about that. Do you know that I think about inmates? Actually, their step down programs. I always assumed that veterans, I just never gave any thought to them. That's really something to think about.
You get out, you get your last paycheck, and boom, you're kind of done. Like,
well, wait a minute. So wait, because I'm asking. So, but your husband still gets his benefits as far as like medical
benefits. Yes, my husband could go to the VA and get his medical.
Are you entitled to get benefits through him?
No, because we didn't retire. Had we retired, I think I would have gotten something, or maybe if he was disabled. Like, he does have some disability. He's still working on getting all that finished. But no, I don't get any of my medical through the VA.
Wow.
Which I want it because they suck.
So that's another thing. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. Vets are forgotten. Absolutely. Vets are treated like shit. Yeah. I mean, you guys are singing to the choir. I'm not a vet, but
I think that the same with prisoners that are going to be released.
But wait a minute. Wait. So I hear you, and you know where I'm going. Somebody that fights, and I know that you're not saying that, but I would much rather, knowing this, I mean, like, again, because here's what happens, the VA needs a whole tune-up, but here's what happens is, we've had some good people that had mental problems because of what happened to them in wartime.
Mm-hmm.
That's the step down program that I'm concerned with, is the PTSD, the mental health, the discarding of good soldiers that saw too much and they broke because of it. And they're just being tossed aside. That is shit. That's not right. That's not right. They're broken because they fought in our wars and saw things that nobody should see. Right. And we give them no care when they get out. No fucking care, so that they go and they become criminals, even some of them just to make ends meet. So there's there's what you're saying as far as when they get out, there's nothing for them in a country that isn't hiring.
We got out, and we were in Germany when we were processing out. So they flew us back here. We were in, I guess it was South Carolina, North Carolina, one of those. And we had no vehicle because we had a car in Germany, but we couldn't bring it over. It was a German car, it wasn't an American car. And I had 2 babies and us. And like they flew us home and that was it. We had our paycheck and plane tickets home. That was it. And so there's nothing. And we were healthy. We thought at the time. Now we look back and we're like, no, we can see where my husband was struggling with PTSD, had been in the Gulf War. And there were things that were not treated. There were things that they give our soldiers before they go into war that we don't know what those medicines do. And they're now showing that those medicines have caused problems. The shots and things they give them. So that's a whole, like, look, I can.
Yeah, I don't know much about that. I don't know much about that. I just know that we don't treat our citizens good at all, and we don't treat, the people that fought for our freedoms and stuff good. We don't treat them good. And so when this country fails us, it's because unfortunately we've failed. Mm-hmm. We have failed. And I'm not saying I have no power to do that or not, but as a country, we have failed, and we have made, and this I've seen over the course of my life. Where once upon a time I thought this country was built on the importance of the people, I now think that the country is built on the importance of the dollar. And once that shift changes, the human soul doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't have the value that it once upon a time did. And look at the result of that. Look at what's happening. It's absolutely unbelievable what's going on in this country. And I really don't see a quick fix for it. I don't think there is one.
I don't know how.
And then we have people that, so let me ask you guys a question in the comments. Seriously, do you think that crimes like this in Coburger and Devil's Den, do you think that this is a result of what's going on in our country, or do you just see these 2 people as fucking wackadoodles that are just wackadoodles, or do you see it as this is a result of what's going on with our country? I'd love to know that in the comments, guys. There's no wrong answer. It's a question, because I go back and forth with it. What do you think, Brandy?
I'm back and forth too. Like, I can see where our mental health is struggling. So you've got people like this wackadoo touching children, and it escalates. That didn't happen before. So why now? Why is this becoming so prevalent? Why do we have so many teachers having inappropriate relationships with children? There's 2 or 3 in the headlines right now with inappropriate behavior with minors in the school system. Not okay. Why is it becoming so popular? Or is it because social media, we know it's popular? Was it popular before and we just didn't hear about it? I don't know.
Remember the big deals, like when a teacher was caught? Remember the big deals that would be on, like the woman that died that with Villy?
Yeah,
Laterno? Right. Laterno. So I remember that being just a huge deal when that came out. And the other one that the movie was made of as well, that unalived her husband or something. There was one where she talked the kid into killing her husband. Like, it wasn't Laterno, it was somebody else. But these were big deals, and now you're right. It's like at every point in every turn.
There's another one that was Anne Rule book. His last name was Brown, Cinnamon Brown. Her dad convinced her to kill his wife. Because really? And she did it, and it was he was having a relationship with the wife's sister, and younger sister had moved her in, and he convinced them that they had to kill her, and they convinced Cinnamon to do it because she was underage and would get off. And she literally wore a wire and taped her dad while she was in jail talking about it.
Wow. Wow.
And so I need to talk about that one because nobody ever really talks about that one much. It was crazy. It's a sick individual.
So Misbehaving says, do you think it's more prevalent overall or just noticeable due to increase in population?
I have to suspect that it's because we have social media at our fingertips. I mean, we carry these around everywhere we go.
And people record shit all the time.
And people on social media think that we have the right to all of the information right this minute. You know, and I'm guilty. Preaching to the choir. And so we're always we want these, like with Coburger, they were mad that they weren't giving us enough information. Well, they didn't owe us shit. They had a case to put out.
Right.
But then the speculation starts.
Well, I think people also want to know what the hell's going on. And listen, I mean, like, that's a whole other conversation, but social media isn't what it used to be, you know, as far as, you know, social media has gotten some credibility because social media has helped a lot in a lot of these cases now. I mean, social media were the people that found Gabby Petito and were able to, you know, find that body. As
so
social good. Yes, absolutely. And maybe social media is making people more accountable, and maybe that's some of the problem too.
There it is. Pamela Smart. That's the other one. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah. But you know, I think that social media, maybe it's made people more accountable. I don't know. I feel like on the news anymore, you hear 10 minutes about a case, you never hear anything more about it.
Right.
And I don't know.
And then not all cases make the news.
Exactly.
You know, we have missing children all over the place, but then we focus on, and like Sebastian Rogers. I mean, people went on for a year where we heard live after live after live after live, and we hear nothing about any other kids out there they're missing. There's other kids that come up missing that we hear nothing about.
Right. I was watching. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
As content creators, we're all guilty. We stay with the trending topics because where we can talk about Sebastian and get 1,000 views, we can talk about little Joe over there and we get 10. You know, so it's sadly it's Monster of the Beast.
That's true. So let me see. Okay. Critical thinking about things. So many people are struggling. There's an incredible amount. And then we end up with people like him, you know, that fell through the cracks or nobody noticed or nobody cared enough. I mean, to be honest with you, there was enough for this guy to not be able to teach.
I would like to know more about his history, his childhood, and
I think that shit's gonna come out.
Yeah, I can't wait to start finding some of that out to see what we're
that stuff's gonna come out.
What were our red flags that we missed?
Well, I mean, right away when we hear that there were kids on his lap, if that's true, then you know, how did anybody miss that? I mean, are we so short on teachers that we'll take anybody? Like we can't do that.
Had this been in my time and this teacher had me on his lap, let me tell you what, my mama would have gone to that school, pulled him out of that classroom, and beat the crap out of this man.
I believe it. I
mean, we had a teacher growing up. Miss Garcia was her name. Big old woman. Mean. God, she was mean. And we had this little girl. Her name was Tabitha.
Right.
They were very, very poor. They didn't have, like, she come dirty to school. Her clothes were ratty. They smelled. And I was always defending her. And we were dressing out in PE. And this was back when corporal punishment happened. And she had whipped this little girl and left these big old bruises on her butt.
Wow.
And I said, you need to tell your mama. Your mama needs to come deal with school. She's like, my mama can't come up here and they're not going to listen to her. And I said, oh, my mama will. I went home and told my mom what happened. My mom called the sheriff, which it was a smaller town. And she said, I'm going to tell you what, I'm headed to school. Your ass better be there. And she pulled that teacher out and she's in her face and he's like, Miss Stovall, can't attack the teacher. And they dealt with it. And because that teacher was mean to her. She would let the kids pick on her, all of that. But when she had them bruises on her, I mean, because this little girl was T90 and her each butt cheek was covered in a bruise.
Wow.
That ain't gonna happen. And my mama did. My mama tore up that school.
Wow. This is to you. Can you see it?
Let's see. Today is Sherry Ballard's birthday. Till Ballard's daughter, who went missing something like 27 years ago, never found, zero coverage. Ooh. LM Dragon, thank you. Send that to me, baby. She's always finding me stuff. I love my LM Dragon.
Okay. Cool.
She knows I love these cold cases. I love to showcase them. And, you know, I have one that I do that's from the 60s, and Kathy's killer's never been found. And I talk about Kathy every chance I get because little Kathy didn't have a life and deserved answers.
I agree. You watched the Amy Bradley thing?
I did. I'm fascinated with that story now.
I definitely think that she was trafficked.
I do too. I've had people say they think she left. And I can see where that could be a possibility, but I think she was trafficked. I think she was targeted by the way they say the staff was paying so much attention to her.
Right. Yeah. I think she was definitely trafficked. That's absolutely unbelievably horrible. I don't think, it's funny because when I was listening to it, I said to myself, I could totally relate. I remember, my dad, when I told him, I was gay, he didn't care, for me. He cared that the world might treat me
right.
And it seems like she and me were around the same age.
Mm-hmm.
And I went on a holiday with my dad and his wife, and we had like a chauffeur that took us through. It was private. It was through American Express, I guess. And so we had a guy that took us like Italy and France, and he was the guy that drove us in this like this little small bus and stuff. And I remember, I was 18, 19, something like that. I really don't remember how old I was, but I was definitely gay. And I remember this guy, and he liked me, and I felt really uncomfortable, and my dad was like, he was pushing me to like say goodbye to this guy, and I was being rude to this guy. And I thought this was that many years ago. I said to myself, that's really reminiscent to what was expected of us back then. And because I didn't know how to say, listen, I got the creeps from this fucking guy. Like, he knows I'm gay and won't leave me alone. Like, I didn't today. I would, those are my words, but back then I wasn't able to articulate it like that. Maybe I didn't know, I mean, I just knew that I didn't feel comfortable. So, I mean, I don't feel like, I think she felt totally loved by her family. And I think when they were saying that, they just didn't want her life to be harder on her, I understood that.
When we look at it through the eyes of today, we see it differently, but we have to remember in the 90s, totally different culture.
Yeah, but I remember, because when my dad was telling me that, like my dad was saying, he told me, he said, I'm just worried. His comment was, you ain't doing yourself any favor here. You're not making your life any easier. You're making your life harder, And I mean, even though, he knew that it wasn't a choice, you know what I'm saying? Like at one point at the very beginning, he said, well, I think it's a phase. And I was like, well, maybe it's a phase, but I'm living it right now. So, let's deal with right now. And then obviously the phase never went away. But so when I was listening to the comments about the dad, I heard the same words from my dad, and what I got on my own was not that my dad was ashamed or that he didn't love me, but that it was like, damn, you know, like women are already discriminated against. It hasn't been that long. You know, we're talking about the 90s. It really hasn't been that long. There's still history of stuff and how women are discriminated against. And so here I'm part of a minority, and then I'm going to add to it by saying I'm gay. And you know what I mean? So, but I understood what he was saying. And she wasn't an idiot, this girl. She was around the same age as me. I would assume if that's what she heard, then that's what she heard. I don't know how her family said it. I'm taking it the way that they said, you know, that she's going to make her life harder.
Brother put it, I think they were very supportive. I think the way the brother talked about it, that they were worried, but they loved her, and they, you know.
They worried the same way that my dad worried for me, that, you know, like the world, I'm going to be picked on. The world is not going to be kind to me if, you know, I let this be known, because this isn't the way it's gone. Now, look, now, if you're not gay or haven't been with somebody of the same sex, something's wrong with you now, you know?
Right. Today's society is total, because people were trying to question that the other day, and I'm like, yeah, but y'all are looking through it through the lens of today. The 90s, it was different. The same with interracial relationships. In the 90s, it was very bad, and now it's common, and it's, people don't understand why people had issues, and it's like that was the thing in the 90s. It just wasn't okay.
Right. I don't understand what this comment means. How can you judge Gypsy if you like the same gender? Explain that to me. I don't understand what that means.
I don't know. I'm really confused by that.
Yeah, so I'm just asking.
I think they're trolling. They've said a few weird things. I think they're trolling.
Guys, I'm not trying to beat up this person. I just want to understand what they're saying. I just don't understand what they're saying is all. So back to this guy, back to this precious little mug here. So I've heard that he's about 6 foot, and that he is maybe this person doesn't want to write back. Anyway, this guy, because I was watching Jumpsuit Pablo and what could be expected when he goes, we should all accept everyone regardless of their beliefs, desires, and past. I don't understand what you're talking about. My discrimination against Gypsy Rose Blanchard is the fact that she murdered her mom. I don't have to like that, and gender has nothing to do with that. You know, I don't give a shit who she dates or what she's doing like that. I joke about that, yes, because it's good comedy. I'm sorry. Toothbrush, she should have bought herself a vibrator. Let's be real. Come on.
You
know, sorry, Brandy.
I think the whole toothbrush conversation just makes me cringe.
Absolutely. But this guy, he's about 6 feet. He's your average height, average weight, and they're saying that he's not really going to have a problem in prison unless there's something that comes out about him with children, and that there's some sort of Aryan gang in Arkansas where he is, and the Aryan gang actually started in prison, where most gangs start out of prison and then people get incarcerated and the gangs kind of hook back up in prison. This gang is a very violent gang, and it started in prison, and they think that you know, well, Jumpsuit Pablo thinks that he's just gonna, he'll be fine in there, because people kill adults all the time in prison, more or less. It's the children bit, and he didn't really do anything to kids that we know right now.
Right. So. Yeah, I don't think he'll have a problem in prison. I think he'll probably fit right in.
They said that Jumpsuit Pablo said right away that he's gonna more or less get respect because of the weapon he used and the fact that it was just up close and personal.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. And he'll have a shank. He will definitely have a shank if he doesn't already have a shank. you know. I agree with that, but I don't. This isn't. We shouldn't even be having topics like this anymore in 2025. Like, there's plenty of people that date people of the same sex and get into relationships. They're not even labeling themselves anymore. To me, what somebody does in their bedroom, as long as you're not hurting anybody and it's consensual, I don't need to know. I don't care.
Yeah, what two adults do between themselves, as long as everybody is in
Is in
agreement,
agreement, right?
or no minors involved, it's nobody's business.
Right. So this guy, I don't know if this guy, we haven't heard anything about personal life. If he has a girlfriend, I would think that he probably does not have anybody significant in his life because he keeps changing where he lives, right?
Yeah.
And that person, if he had somebody significant, right, that person would definitely have a say so. And this guy hiking, I have a question though, and I don't know if you could answer this, but if anybody in the chat can answer it either. There was a photo of this guy from behind. Did you see that photo where he's wearing black?
Yeah.
And why do you think somebody took that picture?
I think it was the cameras. I think is what I had read that come off of one of the cameras that caught him leaving the trail.
See, I didn't hear that. I heard it had something to do with the backpack being like a camel backpack or something. Does that mean? And if you don't know, I don't know. But when they said a camel backpack, I guess I should have looked that up. But to me, I took that as being like, those backpacks that you could put liquid in and you drink out.
Isn't that what? Let's see. I'll look it up.
That's what I think. That's what I think it is.
That's what I've known them as.
But like what? So behind him, that black photo. Can you grab that black photo as well? Because you could do this so obviously a lot quicker than me. I didn't even think you could do it from my stream. I love that you can send stuff up and do that.
Backpack is one that has the liquid in it.
Okay, right. Okay, so that is the one. That's the camel backpack, the one with the liquid. Okay, that would make sense. Again, can you grab that photo of him from behind?
Let me go find it. What is
so my thing with this photo, guys, and the reason why is because like I don't know how they connected this to that guy. Like what made this photo stand out? So Brandy, you're saying now this is I do know that what they did say, this is the way I think it played out, that obviously the kids go running, right? That the kids go running for help and they get help. And then you honestly hear, here it is. You honestly hear, so here's the picture. Thank you. And this is him. This is the guy.
So it looks like he's got two backpacks because up here you can see the camel backpack on his top of his shoulders.
Right.
There's this big, like, gym bag hanging off the back.
Yeah. Like there's a blanket or something in there. I mean, that's I'm speculating. I can't see inside there. I know nothing. But and look, his hair. Like go back. Like his hair. It doesn't even look near as long as it did. I got these little and there's these little fucking gnats everywhere this time of year. They're everywhere. They're at my job. They're at people's houses. I thought it was just my house. There's little friggin' gnats, man. They're terrible. Yeah. So see, but right, they knew it was him. Like there's something, because what they did, so the girls went for help, that they went right away and found the deceased bodies. And so then they call the cops and so they start taking the pictures. And then what they do, and then what they do is they put a bulletin out. They put a bulletin out. Somebody told me beer, so I might do that. They put a bulletin out for everybody that was at Devil's Den though that day. to please go through your phones and please see if anybody took pictures in any, and this is how I think this picture came up.
Okay, so I'm looking at this bag really closely. You can see over here on the left arm and the right arm, you can see the strap. This is one of those big ass gym bags or like even luggage bags. Like
Right. Okay. Like a duffel bag. A duffel bag take on an airplane, an overnight bag, basically.
See, here's
right?
the you see the stripes right here on the left.
Yeah.
Down here. That's a big bag. Here's the camel backpack right here.
Okay.
So what, because this bag is empty. What if he was trying to kidnap one of those girls and put them in this bag? What if that's what the purpose of this bag is?
Wow, you think so? The smallest one was the 7-year-old. Do you think
That's
well,
that's
listen,
a
we saw, and I'm not trying to make a joke. We saw George from the Sarah Boone case get in a suitcase, right?
So you could easily put a kid inside this bag. That's a big bag. What if that's what was going on? I mean, that's speculating, guys.
Right. Yeah, no, we're guessing here. We're just guessing.
I'm just looking at this bag, and if this was what caught somebody's attention and why this picture was used, that makes a little more sense to me, because why would he have this on him? And he's in long sleeves, like he's in all black.
Now that you mention that, the fucking nuts. Now that you mention that, I think that was something that stood out because it was a hot day. He was wearing all black. Yes, I think that was something.
The camel backpack could be because he was out there stalking and he needed that for hydration. And I mean, I think he was planning on trying to do something. I do. I think that makes sense to have this right here. This bag makes no sense to me.
Well, it was enough to get somebody to take a picture of this guy. Somebody took a picture of this guy because they thought it was weird. That's why this picture wasn't taken by a family member or anything. This is a stranger that took a picture of this guy because they thought it was weird. That's why I
agree. Now that I'm looking at that really closely, that's a big bag.
No, you're right. You're right. It is a big bag because it goes down. Can you see me do this?
Mm-hmm. Right here.
It goes down to where he's almost wearing
to his knees.
Like a skirt, like he's almost wearing a skirt or something. Yeah. Whether that day was hot, it's been hot.
The bag right here. It's at his knees.
Right.
And then it's folded over. It folds over. Here's the top of it right here, which would be way up here because this is the straps. That is a big bag.
Faith Abube, who leads us off now from Fort Stewart tonight. Faith.
Lord.
Nigeria Army officials have given the all clear here at the base after the hours-long lockdown. Operations.
Thank you so much, Napolitano Dollface. Thank you so much.
It started playing something.
I saw that. I saw that. Guys, tell me what I'm supposed to do with these gnats already. Somebody said beer.
Miss Haven says that's a jacket. That does not look like a jacket. You can see the zipper, and there's straps up on the shoulders, and then there's the other backpack. I think that's like a duffel bag.
Who said that? I'm trying to find it. Oh, okay. I see Aunt Edna. Kind of looks like a long sweater. I think it's a bag. I would agree. I think it's a bag. I see Brandy's kitty butt.
Yeah, red wine. If you take red wine in a glass, they'll go into that too.
I don't have any red wine. Whatever I have to be able to leave so that they won't hurt the dogs. You know?
Oh yeah.
And I don't want my dogs drinking wine. I have the Xeno. That's what I'm using now. Okay, went right in my eye. I have this shit, man. I have it. It's driving me crazy. I got to do something. It's a duffel. That's what they're saying. It's a bag.
It definitely is too hot to wear everything he's got
all back here. That's why I think the photos. Red wine vinegar. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I will get some fucking red wine vinegar and put it all over my shit because I think it's Zevo. It's not Xeno. It's Zevo. That new stuff. I have that, and I have the ones that plug in too.
I use fly strips, but I'm in the country and have chickens, and so we have flies. I have fly strips.
Yeah. I have these little
there. I haven't seen, are Zimas even around anymore?
What is that?
It's an alcohol. It was like a beer. Like
I know it's
blue label.
this is something different. Wait, they're talking about this. Hang on. This is what I think they're talking about. I think they're talking about this stuff.
Lady Lolo, not that we know of. Oh, okay.
I'm trying to show everybody what it is, but I suck at this. Zevo, and then I have the strips, the ones that they're in the socket. You know. So,
are you like in your RV?
Yeah, I got it. But it's not, because I thought maybe there's something like a hole somewhere, but these fuckers are going to work with me. They're all at work and they're in everybody else's house too, so not just mine.
We have that issue ever so often too.
Yes, I heard it's for a couple of months ago, but it's like, it really sucks. I can't, it's driving me crazy. Like, shit's going up my nose and everything. It's just really bad. I use the plug-in, it works. They don't come up the drains because everything's shut off here. So they're not coming up the drains because there's nothing, you know. Anyway, I don't know. I've done it. I use the plug-in, it works. It does work. I got a bunch of dead gnats on it, but not enough to get all of them. So I got to figure out something. I ran off for a minute. Jamie, help me with something. She's eating pizza. Jamie, what is it that I could put around the house to get rid of these fucking gnats? They are so aggravating. Anyway, so guys,
a couple months ago, and every time we'd go outside, it was like you would get swarmed with them. It's awful.
I hate it. Outside, yeah, like when I get ready to go to work, it's so bad. I don't have any fresh fruit sitting out. I don't have anything sitting out. I don't have anything sitting out. Nothing. Beer in a dish outside.
She's gonna get up and lay back down.
So we've been on for over a couple hours.
We went all over the place with that, but we had a good conversation.
I totally agree, and I'd love to continue on as this stuff keeps
absolutely
happening. Unfortunately, it is going to keep happening. You know what I'm saying? I mean, unfortunately, this is the stuff that's going to keep happening. What do you expect from this guy in the future? What do you think's going to be of what do you think's going to come out of this, Brandy?
I think the schools are going to have to start answering a lot of questions. I suspect parents are going to be asking questions and really trying to figure out why he wasn't red flagged. I hope we get answers as to what he was doing, because that's what's going to drive people crazy. If we don't know if he was trying to kidnap one of the kids, if we don't know why he attacked who he attacked, I think that's going to drive people crazy. I think we need answers.
Do you think when people find out, so, you know, a few of you have asked, and I put one of the things up there, because here's the thing. When these crimes happen, we want to find a reason for it. Where's the connection? We want it to make sense. And the reason why we want it to make sense is because if we can understand it, our hope is we can prevent it from happening to us. Unfortunately,
no understanding crazy.
Unfortunately, there's no rhyme or reason. You know, if there's something going on in this country, and that's what I think it is, I think all of this crime, I understand that, yes, we have the internet now, and yes, there's a lot of things that we find out now because everybody has cameras and such like that. But I still don't remember it being like this. It was not like this, not as brazen, not
no, because we played out, we rode our bikes all over town. You know, you came home when the sun went down. We didn't have to worry about anything. Our parents didn't worry about us.
Well, I mean, I think we all grew up now. I grew up with, you know, not to take candy from strangers, not to go with strangers, stranger danger, basically, you know, like, I know that your parents probably told you don't go off with strangers, don't accept things from strangers, but usually it was that. It wasn't this if somebody grabs you, just start screaming and yelling and kicking, because you didn't think of that. You thought of maybe
Adam Walsh is what taught us to start fearing being taken.
You know that I'm from that's my hometown.
Are you? Wow.
Yeah, I worked with his grandmother. I worked with Jean Walsh after Adam was gone.
Oh, wow.
I worked with Jean Walsh. I learned so much from that woman. Amazing. An amazing woman, still with so much love after what happened to her grandson. I asked her one day, like, she was so kind. I was a park ranger and she was a park ranger as well. And there's this little boy named Joey used to come into the park with his dad. His dad worked on the trains and he wasn't home often. He came home maybe a week, a month. And he always took his son to the park, and his son was the same age as Adam. And she used to bring him toys and stuff. And I said to her, I was much younger, and I asked her how she could do that. Like, how can you find so much love for Joey when your own grandson wasn't spared any? I mean, I put it in better terms than that. And she was like, it has nothing to do with Joey. I love seeing Joey. It was she just taught me so much, like, seriously. I often reflect on her because she was just a super person. Like, she lost her husband at an early age, and I remember saying to her, think you'll ever get married again? Nope, I don't want to. I had the best. And she knew she wasn't going to live to be an old woman. And I worked with her. She was in her 50s. I don't know how long she lived because I moved from the state and stuff, but she was an amazing person. I don't know what's going on with that family now. I mean, the daughter's out there speaking poorly about her dad. I don't know if you know anything about that, but listen, now I want to say this. This is what I want to say because this is something I know for a fact. There was a lot of speculation when Adam was missing. I remember my own mom saying there must have been an affair going on with the wife. And I said, why? This before I knew anybody or anything in that. And she said, I just have a feeling, and it wasn't. And then it was the job that John had, and that his son was a sacrifice. That wasn't. The man that killed Adam Walsh was a guy named Otis Toole, Toole. And I knew that he killed him before the average person did because I remember Jean. It was one of the very few times that she wore it to work. And she was just not herself that day. And she was upset with what was going on with the case. And I said, well, Jean, how do you know? How do you know it was Otis? She said, I know it was Otis because he said what was used to cut off my grandson's head. And nobody knew that.
Yeah, there were details that Otis gave that others didn't know. That's why the ones that start trying to say that Jeffrey Dahmer had something to do with it, I'm like, that don't even fit. That wasn't what Jeffrey was about. Jeffrey would have kept it.
So it was Otis Toole, and Otis Toole, he later, recanted, but there was too much stuff that he knew that he could have only known.
Which Otis really was crazy. I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I feel for that family. I think that they went through so much. It's so high profiled, and then they were so tormented by everything that I think the other kids suffered, and I don't know that they ever recovered. And it's kind of evident that they didn't with how she talks now.
Yeah, but I don't know. She supposedly has some mental issues. And listen, she was the one that was born after Adam.
Yeah.
She was the child born after Adam, because I know that they had 3 after Adam, but the girl, because I remember thinking, oh God, I hope that I hope that they don't have a son right away, because like that would be hard for that son to get out of that mold. And they didn't. They had the daughter, and then they had 2 boys. They had Callahan, and there's another son too. But the person that she's talking about is not the Adam Walsh. I'm sorry, not the John Walsh or the Walsh family that I met at all. You know what I'm saying? Like this family, after Adam's death, before the birth of Megan, that's the daughter's name, this family was broken. Like when they would come to the park and see their mom, you know, this family was broken. You know, the fact that he was able to make a career out of helping people
because of what happened to Adam is,
yeah, but not because he planned it like that.
No,
he didn't sacrifice
was,
his son. There
he
was
kind
something
of fell into it. Just
they didn't divorce. They didn't divorce. They didn't divorce.
I thought they divorced. They didn't divorce.
Reve and John didn't divorce.
Okay, I thought they
I don't
did.
believe that they divorced at all. Hang on. I don't believe that they divorced at all. I don't think so. I think that that's incorrect. Hang on. Because now I'm just curious. Hang on, John Walsh. I don't think that they divorced. I think that they had problems, but I think, yeah, they're still married to this day. They got married in 1971, it says. Hang on, wait a minute. Yep. Spouse. John and Reve Walsh, they have Adam, Megan, Hayden, and Callahan. Are they still married? John Walsh was born. He has been married to Reve Walsh since July 10th, 1971. They had problems, but they never got divorced.
Split up for a little while, and that's why people are thinking they were divorced.
Yeah, but they didn't. And all of those kids, all of those children are from Reve and John. There's not a second marriage there. And I love Red. I mean, I love Red. Do you know who she is? She's so funny. She's Gen X. She does TikTok, and she talks about clackers and all the shit in the past, like stuff, you know. Yeah. And she's got a YouTube channel out now. But hello, Willow Moon Wolf. I want to make sure that we correct the narrative here, because it is, excuse me, it is quite an accomplishment to achieve a marriage after so long.
Yeah.
And then add on top of it the death of a child, the guilt of that, how you get past that. Listen, when I met John and Reve at the park, now I had met them previous, because when Adam was that hit me. You know, I have a younger brother, that hit me. And I used to go to the Adam Walsh Center and do some volunteer work, but I also wrote an article about it at the Miami Herald. It was they had like this little magazine that was in the Herald, Tropic or something. And then, you know, everything with that went on hold. But I mean, it stuck with me. That case obviously stuck with me. And then I worked with Jean, you know, and which was a surprise, because, you know, I'd been working at the park for a couple of years, and she just wanted something to do. She was, you know, and so they gave her the park job. And I spent most of my days just talking to this woman. But when I met John and Reve at that time, when they would come and visit, you know, Jean at the park, there was no smiles. I mean, they were kind, you know, nice to meet you. Everything was forced. There was hardly any emotion. I mean, they were just so fucking broken. There was no children, no new children at this point. They were just
the mother
hanging on to life.
I couldn't imagine how to go on after losing my child. I don't even know how you remember how to breathe. I just can't. I can't even fathom.
Well, the worst bit, in my opinion, is this really does bring tears to my eyes. It was before social media, but talk about small towns. I mean, like the Hollywood Sun Tatler. And I remember, like, it wasn't just my mom. I mean, like, the whole fucking community kind of like blamed this family. Like they blamed like John's job and John's co-worker and then Renee cheating, and none of this had any proof. So besides the fact that, I mean, she went shopping, it's worse because see, she went shopping in Sears, and then, you know, she left Adam 3 aisles away. What they didn't know was Jean, the grandmother, John's mom, was shopping in the same mall. They didn't know that. So she didn't know. And all of a sudden, Jean happens upon Reve, and Reve is relieved for a second because she's like, oh, Adam's with his grandmother. And, you know, she just happened to be in the mall. So, I mean, when it happened, the grandmother was there too. I mean, and people don't really know that the grandmother ended up at the mall just by, you know, we didn't have a lot of malls at the time. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't have been uncommon, but the relief, because I remember Jean telling me, you know, Reve had such relief in her face when she saw my face. And I remember when I told her Adam wasn't around, you know, how, you know, yeah, it was bad. But basically, yeah, they definitely were saying some shit about the Walsh family. That's why, like, I don't know what's going on with Megan. I don't think that people should jump on that bandwagon. I didn't even know anything about it till I went to look into the case, and somebody said, hey, have you ever checked into the daughter? And somebody sent me a video of the daughter speaking badly about John. And I looked into it a little bit, and she had some kids that John got custody over, or temporary custody over, because she has some mental issues. She probably does have mental issues. Of course, I agree with you that, yes, absolutely. You come into a family, you're the firstborn after a child has been kidnapped. I mean, who knows how much freedom she had? Who knows how much she was paying for Adam's death? She couldn't, maybe couldn't go anywhere. Maybe her parents were trying to navigate a situation where they didn't want to lose another child. But how do you do anything more perfect than what you do? Fucking tie the kid to you. You know what I'm saying?
Jenny, the man on the screen is the man who is responsible for the murders at Devil's Den this last week. So Gen X says, so the thing I saw was Polly Class's parents, not Adam Walsh. Yeah. And that was another sad story.
Yeah.
Like old crime is my jam, guys. That's where I don't tend to do a lot of the newer stuff because it gives me some anxiety with the speculations and the drama because it's dangerous. That's why I was being very careful a while ago with what I was seeing.
Right.
But I love old crime. I love the old true crime stuff. Like seriously, old school. I'm old school.
So let me ask you a question, and then I got to get ready. I got to take a shower and stuff. But let me ask you a question. John Benet Ramsey, what do you think happened there?
I think there was somebody stalking that family, and I think they sat in that house for a while because that house was big enough to do that in. And there was something that came out a couple of weeks ago. They may have a suspect, and it's somebody that's been on the radar for a while that they had just kind of lost track and forgotten, and evidently he's popped back up.
Oh, okay, cool.
It was, I believe it was Justin on TikTok that what is his channel? Just the Nick of Time, I think. Just the Nick of Crime, something like that. He was sharing it the other day, and I'm like, oh, and I forgot to finish digging in on that. But I think that it's a high possibility that this guy could be the one.
Wow. See, now the mother is gone, dead and gone. And, you know, she went to the grave thinking that a good portion of the world thought she had something to do with the death of her daughter. The brother has been under speculation for quite some time, Burke, right?
And he's and I get it. He's odd. He's
and he's one of those guys that always smiles when there's no reason to smile.
I think he may be autistic. I think he's on the spectrum.
I think so too. And listen, just because just because he smiles, that's his defense, you know,
People do that in awkward situations. So
yeah.
I was on a panel the other day and laughed, and somebody got mad at me, and I'm like, guys, I didn't mean that to be disrespectful. It was just I didn't know what else to do at the moment.
Right. It'll be interesting to know
the family needs the closure. I that family.
Well, we also want to know. I mean, yeah, okay, we want to know too, but
right.
Well, not only do they need closure, but they need vindication. They need, let's clear the mother's name.
Right.
You know, let's clear a birth. Yeah. And there's some weird stuff about that case, as you know, with the exact amount of money that was asked for, and
which I mean, let's face it, that police department did not preserve that crime scene, not one bit.
No, they didn't.
Botched it from the word go.
Right. As a matter of fact, I'm not 100% sure she was there the first time they went looking around.
Me either.
You know, I think she was placed there after, because how they miss her. You know?
I don't think they looked. I think they said they looked. I don't think they ever searched the whole house.
I'm fucking stupid.
I think they kind of opened doors and was like, maybe, and went on. I don't think they.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah, especially back then. Like back then, you thought people did their jobs much better than they do them today. But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right about that. I don't know. I gotta get ready though. But I want to do this again.
Yeah, I'll have you over on my channel. We'll
okay, yeah, I would love that. Anytime you let me know.
Same with Trixie. I know Trixie was in here earlier. We were talking about this the other day. Let's all just start collabing together and start just pushing it out there and have some fun.
Definitely. I would love to do that. Absolutely. So I'll wait for an invitation from your channel.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that you're feeling better.
Thank you. And thank you guys. I had fun today.
And me too. And we'll do it again. And again, best of luck with your truck and good for your husband.
Thank you.
All right.
Y'all have a good one.
Thank you. All right, guys. Be well, guys, in the chat and everything. Thank you guys so much. All right. Bye.